Hello and welcome to episode number
18
of the franchise. I'm your host, Daniel Ehrenberg.
And I'm your host, Henry Papale.
H-Paps.
H-Paps.
Today we're talking Friday the 13th again. We're still in our spookiest month of the year special.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
And today we're doing part 3D and the final chapter, part 4 of 11.
Yeah.
That's a thing in Friday the 13th, by the way. They constantly think they're ending the series, and then they don't.
Yeah, I read that. Does that keep going?
Yeah, that keeps happening. Like, part 3 is supposed to, like, wrap up the trilogy.
Right.
And then a year later, we get part 4, the final chapter. And then a year after that, they do part 5, A New Beginning.
Sure.
So that's a thing. And then part 9 of the series is called Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday.
Right.
And then a couple years later, there's Jason 10.
Where he's in outer space, right?
That's outer space. We'll get there.
Right.
But we're starting today with part 3. I thought it was part 3D, but I didn't see that anywhere in the movie. It is a 3D film, though.
It's quite obviously a 3D film.
Yeah, we both watched this movie in 2D, but make no mistake about it. There's a lot of shit pointing at the camera during this movie.
Yeah, there's like broomsticks and joints and all kinds of stuff.
What's the best one?
Ooh, well,
I'm between two.
Okay, my favorite one. I mean, there's a couple good kills with it, but my favorite one might be the first one, which I think is the broomstick pointing at us, because it's just so innocuous, but it's so like, here we go, guys, fasten your seatbelts.
3D time.
Right, and so the character is just completely nonchalantly, hanging clothes up.
You get that, though, even in the opening credits of this movie, where, like, the credits are, like, flying at you like this is Superman or something.
That's true. Yeah. Well, it's on that level. Yeah, they are. They're on
the level of some of those fucking movies.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
maybe.
I'm between the yo-yo.
That's good.
Yeah, there's a dude playing with a yo-yo, and it's coming right at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, Jason shooting a harpoon through someone's face, and the harpoon comes at you.
Right, that was good.
That's pretty good. There's like multiple harpoon deaths in this movie.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's a harpoon or a spear gun.
Ooh, interesting. Could be a spear gun.
Not that I'm an...
I'll check. My DVD, or Katie's DVD of this movie.
It says...
all these movies, it has a list of the weapons that Jason uses.
Wow. Because a harpoon has a rope at the end of it for killing whales. A spear gun, I think, just shoots... Or maybe they're the same thing.
My friend, harpoon gun is listed.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
they know more than me.
There you go.
I'm not Ahab. I'm not Ahab commanding the vessel here, so I wouldn't know.
Sure. Weapons used 10, body count 12. By the way, in part 3, if we want to keep track of that.
Well, that's sweet. You got a body count, huh?
Yeah, body count 14 in the final chapter. Took it up.
Yeah, well, that's good, because there wasn't much of a body count in the first two. So honestly, there wasn't.
No. Well, some of them happen off screen and shit, which isn't cool.
Right, but it's still like in the first one, there's only like 5 people to kill.
That's true.
Not that many. So
they can only pay 5 people.
Right. I mean, after the first 30 minutes of any of these movies, I'm fucking begging for that shit to start, because they really take a long time in these, all 4.
A lot of times, like the last half hour is like packed with that shit.
Yeah, like I get it, because the last half hour wakes me up a little bit, but so you could start them a little earlier.
Okay.
Don't need all those. Don't need those character non-developments.
I need them.
Yeah,
I like it. It's like,
well, I like some of them.
It's what these movies are like pornography, And everyone's different, right? Some
Right.
people need a little bit of setup at the beginning.
Right.
Some people get right into it.
Right. That's very true.
Yeah.
So give me the stats.
Hey, Steve Miner's back. There he is.
Yeah, he should have left while it was good.
Oh.
All right.
We got writing credits by Martin Kit Rosser and Carol Watson. You familiar with Martin Kit Rosser?
Nope.
Can I tell you? This is going to blow your mind.
Please.
So he got to write this movie by being the script supervisor on the first 2 Friday the 13th movies.
Wow. The guy who makes sure all the pages are green and actors are in their know what lines they're doing in what scene, right?
Basically.
Script supervisor.
Yeah. So
Sometimes I feel like we should say that for some people who might not know every not that I do.
The layman.
But I happen to know what a script supervisor is. So.
Sure. Yeah, they hang around on set and make sure the wheels are turning properly in any given scene.
The wheels.
Yeah.
Wheels.
Wheels, yeah. Apropos. So he goes back to being a script supervisor after writing this movie. And do you want to know who he works for now?
Yeah.
He has been the script supervisor on every Quentin Tarantino film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Starting with Reservoir Dogs all the way to Hateful Eight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And honestly, Quentin sticks with some people, but a lot of names do change. He's used different DPs and
Editors.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So this guy's been there, huh? All right.
Oh, he's around. Yeah.
Good for him. And he moved on from giving Friday the 13th dialogue tips to one of the greatest dialogue writers ever. So
That's right.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He also works with Brett Ratner a lot.
That's okay.
Script supervisor on Rush Hour 3.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Released, by the way, August 13th, 1982, Friday the 13th.
Ooh, good move.
Yeah.
Good move.
I can't believe it took them to the third one to think of that.
Yeah, when you're doing that much coke, it's your mind isn't really
Sure.
focused.
We got a budget slightly higher again, $2.3 million.
That's quite higher. That's $1 million higher, isn't it, from the last one?
I think it was like 1.2. Yeah, $1 million higher. Box office of 36.7. It's a hit. It's actually a bigger hit than the second one was. Maybe that 3D fucking Gambit worked.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Got those
Sure it did.
horny teens in the theater.
In the drive-in.
Yeah, giving each other HJs, watching some yo-yos flying at them.
Yeah.
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 It actually was such a big hit that I guess E.T. was like owning the box office that year, and this was like the first movie to supplant it at the top.
Wow. Yeah, I read that. Well, that's good because it's better than E.T.
Oh, shots fired at E.T. Yeah, no, E.T.'s overrated, right?
I think it's horrible, so that's just me.
I don't think it's horrible.
I do, yeah.
All right.
Hated it when I was a kid, still hate it now.
All right. It's number
Got that out
21 in the box office that year.
All right.
Slightly above Tron.
That's really...
Yeah.
Huh. I thought Tron would have been a little higher on that list. I thought that was a hit.
No, that's why they had such a hard time getting that sequel made for years.
Oh, well, like 30 years almost, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Hey, man. But it made more than Sophie's Choice. It made more than Blade Runner. It made more than Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It made more than The Road Warrior.
Wow.
How about those?
Wow.
Some classics.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it made slightly less than Richard Pryor Live on the Sunset Strip.
Oh. Glad that's a class. Wow. Every movie you named is great except for I don't even know if I've ever seen Sophie's Choice all the way through.
It's this chick, Sophie. She's got to make a choice.
Yeah, that's
You
about
understand?
it.
Yeah.
You understand? It's a tough.
Yeah. What, she's choosing between her kids in that one? Is that right?
I think she has to. Yeah, she has to pick which one lives or dies. I think it's a Holocaust movie. I can't believe I'm so ignorant on Sophie's. I've read reviews of Sophie's Choice. I remember reading one that just hammered Meryl Streep's acting, and that
Meryl
might
Streep?
have.
Is that Meryl Streep?
Yeah, that
Which
might
is
have
the
been.
Sally Field one that I get this movie confused with all the time?
That's understandable. 80s. Could it be One from the Heart or?
No. I know that disaster.
Oh, that's Coppola, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Places in the Heart. Sorry. One from the Heart. That's a musical. Sophie's Choice. I don't know. Norma Ray.
That's it. That's the one.
Oh,
I get those two movies confused for some reason.
Well, one takes place in Nazi Poland, and the other one takes place in Georgia or something like that. So
Sure.
I get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Friday the 13th, Part 3. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Originally intended to end the trilogy, but obviously we've got a lot more of these things to cover.
Yeah.
The premise of this one. So, you'll recall that Part 2, we go 4 years into the future.
5 years.
5 years from the
Yeah.
events of the original.
Right.
This one, it's the next day. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. It's just the next day. Jason's rampage is finished. We're saying fucking sayonara to Ginny right off the bat.
Yeah, she's in I would assume, a mental institution at this point, right?
Oh, yeah, she's fucked.
Yeah.
She's fucked for life.
Yeah. Yeah.
As is the girl from this movie. By the
That's
way.
right. That's right. Two survivors, but not
Yeah.
not mentally.
No. And I mean, this one's fairly generic, right? It's a group of horny teens. They're taking a weekend vacay, right, at this cabin.
Right.
And
Well, before we get into that, you got to talk about the husband and wife who get axed first. The husband.
Oh, you want to go chronologically?
Well, no, I want to talk about that great sequence.
Well, if we're doing that, then I want to say we're starting with previously on Friday the 13th again.
Oh my God, another recap.
Yeah, for another 6 minutes.
Yeah, God.
And then
Don't need a recap, fellas.
And then for the first time ever, I'm grateful Harry Manfredini's around.
Yeah, for the opening credits.
Oh my God, these opening credits.
So wrote.
Usually we're doing scary opening credits, but
Right.
this time,
Bow, bow, bow,
oh
bow,
baby,
Ow, ow.
they're funky.
My first two notes on the movie are another recap underlined with an exclamation point, and the second one is good because it says better music equals disco. But then about 30 minutes in the movie, I had to go back to that note and draw a big arrow and wrote, scratch that. It's not better music.
No, just in the opening credits.
Just the credits.
The music in this movie is as generic as ever, but
Just
like
as
that
bad.
opening credits, holy shit, Manfredini slapping the bass.
Yeah. he's slipping the bass.
Yeah.
Slipping the bass, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's slipping the bass. Yeah, he really is slipping the bass. Great movie reference.
I love you, man. How about
I love that movie. Yeah,
I know
Don't
you
be able
do.
to cover that. You know I love that movie.
Yeah, no, it's a good.
Didn't
one.
you bought that for me for my birthday? Didn't you?
Yeah, because you borrowed mine like 19. No, you borrowed it
Yeah.
once, but you kept it for like 9 months.
Right.
And you
You're just
watched like the
"Fuck it, I'll just buy-"
commentaries and shit.
Right. Oh yeah. So you were just like, fuck it, I'll just buy him this for his birthday.
Yeah. So
Slipping the bass.
we're
Slipping the bass.
Stop
Yeah.
it. Okay.
right. All right.
So then there's this old lady, but she's played by like a 25-year-old.
Yeah, she's not old.
It's like this woman in like hair curlers, and I think we're supposed to. And her name's Edna.
Right.
So I think our brains are supposed to communicate to us that she's elderly or something.
Yeah.
But the
she's-
actress playing her is like younger than us.
She's easily 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's awful and horrible and meant to be, and I'd say one of the, and this is saying something for this series, one of the most misogynistic touches there, right? I mean, she's
what,
just
that the
nuts.
old lady is played by like a hot chick?
No. Well, sure, but no. That she is just her defining character trait is just she's a fucking nag.
Oh yeah, she's nagging wife.
She's awful. I mean, you want her to get it. You really just okay. Like, where's Jason? When's he going to end this poor man's torture?
But he doesn't come for like a long time.
Yeah, I know. It
This
takes him a while.
sequence is forever.
Yeah, it is.
Because we start with 6 minutes of Previously on Friday the 13th. It's a long opening credit sequence with Harry Manfredini's funky bass.
Right.
And then, like, this opening, you know, which is basically doing, like, the Scream-style opening, where it's characters that you are never going to see again getting murdered.
Right.
And, like, it just goes on for... Like, we don't meet the actual characters of this movie for, like, 25 minutes.
And the husband in that, Ron Jeremy, played by Ron Jeremy.
17 minutes in. I took that note.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He does not utter a syllable to the wife. His only dialogue is when he's talking to a rabbit. Did you notice that?
Yeah, he sort
is
of just
mute.
takes it when the wife is nagging.
He is 100% mute with the wife. He never responds to her. He gives, like, these silent gestures, like, mm-mm, mm-mm.
He's
Okay.
also just so busy shoving food down his gullet. My God, the amount
Yeah.
we see this guy eat in his few minutes of screen time.
True. He eats, he shits, he
He
hangs
does
up
shit.
clothes.
He dies on a toilet. Oh, that's
Yeah,
the worst. No death less dignified than dying on the toilet like that fucking lawyer in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Newman, right?
No, not Newman.
Oh, that's not how he dies?
No, it's that bald lawyer guy that
Oh,
he like
right. Oh,
hides
yeah,
out
yeah,
in the
yeah.
outhouse and then the T-Rex. Like,
Yeah. I thought that was Newman's death. I couldn't remember.
no,
That's been a
Newman
while.
dies when the Dilophosaurus spits fucking black goo in his eye.
Dilophosaurus. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
A
that's
nice made-up dinosaur name.
that's a real dinosaur, you idiot.
I really don't think Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, that's a dinosaur. It doesn't actually spit the venom, like they made that up, but there was a
Dino spit.
dinosaur that looked like that called the
I know, I didn't-
Dilophosaurus.
All right. I used to be a dinosaur aficionado when I was a kid, but
Yeah, well, way to sound like a fucking idiot.
thanks, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
My paleontologist friend.
Yeah. I was into dinosaurs as a kid too, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't remember. I'm gonna look that up. I believe you though.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, this couple, they're just nagging at each other, being idiots. Also, she's like knitting the entire time, but the actress clearly doesn't know how to knit. So she's just sort of moving her hands around a ball of yarn.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of what the director's doing here.
Yeah, but, I mean, the thing with Friday the 13th Part 3 is it's a goof fest. That's
Yeah.
all they're doing here. Like, the first two were horror movies, and this one is designed to play in, like, drive-ins by its very nature.
Yeah.
So it's trying to be sillier and goofier than the first two, and it's succeeding.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's very charitable.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think that's legit.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, listen to you, fucking shitting on this movie.
Well, I think it's a real piece of shit, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We can be there.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, we might as well. I like the sweet. I'm jumping ahead, I guess, but little Fangoria Tom Savini reference.
That was good. I want to introduce our characters before we get into shit like
Oh,
that. But
please
yeah,
do.
there is like a
That's a
girl
plea for him to
sitting
come back.
in a hammock reading Fangoria, which is
Yeah.
just a shout out to like horror nerds.
Sure.
Fangoria, a magazine I once wrote an article for.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, all right.
It's a legit publication, man.
Yeah, that was the beginning and end of my journalism career.
Hey,
And
it's all right.
yeah.
Don't sell yourself short.
But yeah, she's looking at an article about Tom Savini, like 30 years in the business. Tom Savini.
Yeah, and I think he did not do the makeup on this movie, right?
No,
So,
he comes back for that fourth one.
so that's definitely, in my opinion, I think that's like, hey, Tom, would you mind coming back?
Remember
we'll give
us?
you money. Yeah, just for us one more time.
Yeah,
It worked.
it did.
Yeah.
It did. But there's more to that story. We'll get there.
Mhm.
Anyway, we meet the actual characters. By the way, before that, the husband that dies on the toilet,
Yeah.
drinking whiskey on the toilet.
Yeah.
What a sad life. I mean, I've done it, but God, poor bastard.
Yeah, he's talking to animals. He's getting nagged by his wife, and he looks like Ron Jeremy. He's just, it's not going well for this guy. He's got a store of which I cannot discern what they sell beyond fruit, and I couldn't
Well,
make
they have
it out.
donuts. We see him eat those.
Yeah, and then in the daytime, you finally get like a better picture of the building, but I'm still not quite sure.
You know what I think it is? I think it's a motel that they run.
Really? Oh,
yeah, I
I
think it's like a strip motel, and that's like a little store that they have in the hotel. I mean, the motel.
I didn't get that. All right.
I got that. He also, by the way, not only looks like Ron Jeremy, he looks exactly like
Gene Shalit?
No, I was going to say Mario from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Okay.
Remember that show?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Well, I know the video game.
No, I'm talking about the cartoon from the late 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he does. I mean, yeah, he's got the big mustache, and he looks like a lot of people. Let's be honest.
He does. But then he dies on the toilet, and the wife gets stabbed with her knitting needle that she wasn't actually using.
Right. Well, it got put to some use.
Sure.
Yeah.
So now we meet our heroes. Yeah. And, you know, it's the usual assortment.
Yeah.
There's a couple. There's a friend. There's a couple of stoners.
Yeah.
Yeah, the male stoner looks exactly like fucking Tommy Chong.
He sure does.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
And a young Jeff Ross as the prankster.
Oh, that poor bastard. God, that kid has to utter 2 lines of dialogue that must have just been really hard to say. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, good. One is, I believe in the beginning, when he comes across with the mask, and then he takes the mask off, and they all scream at him for wearing that mask and scaring them in broad daylight.
They're such assholes. Like, why hang out with this prankster? Every time he does a prank, they're all pissed off at him.
They're really, like, legit pissed. And
then he gets all upset. This is the worst prankster, by the way. Because you want your prankster to be gleeful in his prank.
He is sad. He says...
Every time he does a prank, he's just sort of like, everyone hates me.
Right, and when he takes the mask off, the guy says something to him like... why do you have to wear a mask all the time? And he goes, well, if you looked like me, you would too.
Yeah, fucking droopy dog over here.
And then when they go skinny dipping, he's like, I can't go skinny dipping when you have a body like me. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it is a ridiculous situation because they're trying to set this kid up. With like
gorgeous,
yeah, I mean, the whole movie, these two characters, every time they're in a scene together, it just looks like a young Jeff Ross chatting with Sasha Grey in 80s clothing.
Good call. Yeah.
They get held up at the convenience store.
He saves the day, though. Right? You know,
he does. Sort of. Those are our first ever black characters in a Friday the 13th movie. They're in a gang.
Yeah. Wait, no, there's a black kid in 2, but he's only on screen for like a second, and then remember, he's by the campfire?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, black kid. I bet he'll get killed
the first black people with dialogue.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing in that part, too. Like, there's extras at first, and then they sort of disappear, and then we're just left with our characters. Anyway.
And what dialogue these black characters are given.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a black gang. Well, one of them's white, right? There's one white guy who looks exactly like the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And he's a sexy boy. But then the other two are black, and it's like this tall, bald black guy, and he's sort of the leader. Right? He pops up again like late in the movie. You think he's dead?
His name's Ali.
Sure. Maser Hasha Ali?
Muhammad. Yeah, it's not racist. Yeah,
The girl's name too is Foxy. Like that's the only name they could think to name a black woman.
Yes, they're like, oh, what have you guys seen? What have you guys seen? I don't know. I saw that Pam Grier film. Okay, call her Foxy.
Yeah, that's good.
What else? What have you seen for a black guy? We can't do Shaft because that's still kind of big. Let's do I don't know. What do they call themselves? Ali? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
It's pretty.
Did you notice the actor who is playing Ali in almost every scene? I gotta give him a lot of credit. He is withholding laughter. Did you notice that?
No. He's having a good time.
Yeah, in every scene he's in, right before the camera cuts, either he thinks the camera's not on him or he just doesn't give a shit. He is about to break up, and it is great. Even when he gets his hand chopped off at the end, his reaction to it is kind of a mixture of, I'm supposed to be horrified, but I'm going to laugh. It's great.
Yeah, they're odd characters to be in this movie, and I think they're basically there to be cannon fodder. Like they didn't want to kill off the main characters right away, so like they go to this convenience. You know, Jeff Ross and Sasha Grey end up at this convenience store, and they run afoul of this black gang, and then Jeff Ross runs over their motorcycles by accident. And then the gang shows back up at the cabin to try to get back at them. They like siphon the gas from the VW van they're driving.
Very elaborate revenge, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It's like fucking Snidely Whiplash over here. And I don't know why I'm making old animation
You really are
references today.
Yeah, it's really impressive. You aged 40 years in the last week. Yeah.
That's
God,
right.
you go back some more, we're going to be talking about like the fucking Mickey Steamboat.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie. Duck Amuck. All right. But yeah, so then they all get killed.
Nosferatu Sunrise references.
Yeah, sure. That movie where the train looks like it's coming right at you.
Yeah. E.W. Griffith.
Oh, 3D. Yeah. Intolerance. Okay. So yeah, this movie.
Flipping the bass.
This movie it's a real cabin in the woods situation, right? No, but I feel like they're all like counselors or they're at a camp or something. Yeah. This is just a group of friends spending a weekend at a cabin.
It's true. Yeah.
And I think probably Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard saw this movie at some point.
Well, I'd say they definitely did.
Yeah, there's a couple of. I think like the design of this cabin is very close to the Cabin in the Woods cabin.
Oh, is it?
I think the room they're in with the hammock looks a lot like that room in Cabin in the Woods, where there's like two-way glass and they don't know it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I remember the Cabin in the Woods cabin very well. You will have to forgive me because I couldn't see a lot of this movie because the director of photography was constantly giving me glaucoma.
And there's just always shit flying at you.
Yeah, anything in the foreground instantly eliminates anything in the background, and vice versa.
Well, but that's because of the 3D. There's a lot of foreground backgrounds.
I know, but it was hard to look at.
No, I know, I agree. Yeah. Like there will be like characters in the background, but they're standing behind like a flight of stairs or something, and you are just focused in on that empty flight of stairs.
Yeah,
because that's supposed to be in 3D.
And I gotta say, I wrote this note down. I think it deserves mentioning. This of the series so far, we're only 3 deep here, but
3D.
Yeah, it's the worst acting yet.
Yeah, it is.
It makes part 1. I mean, they look like the fucking ensemble cast of Heat. I mean, this is the horrible, worst acting yet.
It is bad. I'm with you on that one. It is easily the worst Final Girl that we've had. You know, we
wrote
talked
that
about
too.
That last week.
I wrote that too. I was going to get to it, but yeah, I wrote that too.
She sucks.
Wow.
What's her name?
Didn't even write it.
I don't think I did either. I wrote down her boyfriend's Rick.
Yeah.
So this girl, it's her cabin, and Rick, who we're meeting up there, is like a real country boy.
or the actor is trying to be.
Yeah, no.
I'm a real country boy. That's what he says.
I
But he
know.
doesn't say it with an accent.
That's the only line he attempts to say with an accent.
Yeah.
And, you know, they used to date, but now she's like not really dating. And it's because there's a mystery in this film.
Oh, my God.
It's set up very early. And the mystery is something. Oh, her name's Chris. I did write it down.
Okay.
Something happened to this girl, Chris, at this cabin 2 summers ago.
Right.
And she's there now to confront her fear. But what happened?
Right.
Now, as someone who's watching a Friday the 13th movie, my first guess would be maybe she was attacked by Jason. And
that was my guess, too.
yeah. And, hey,
You were right.
we finally get the answer late in the movie.
Yeah.
2 summers ago, yeah, she was attacked by Jason.
Yeah, she was. And I got to say, not one of those things where a character is like I'm trying to confront my fear. Where, I don't know why I said it with my fear.
You sounded like Holly Hunter.
I'm trying to confront my fear. Holly Hunter, who I once was very rude to in a store and regretted that. Didn't realize it was Holly Hunter.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Which was funny because about a few years prior, I was very nice to Holly Hunter, but I think I didn't look at who I was helping, and I just said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, can I put my bags here?
Well, she's easy to miss. She's like fucking 2 feet tall.
She and 40 pounds. And, she asked me if she could put her bag somewhere, and I said, we really don't do that, ma'am.
Oh.
And then I walked away, and a coworker, looked at me and said, you just were a complete asshole to Holly Hunter. And I was like, oh, damn it.
That's like my Brett Ratner story a little.
Yours, that's way better, though. Yeah.
It's way worse.
Well, God, when are we going to get to him? Yeah, but anyway.
Well,
yeah, so Holly
we'll
Hunter.
have to do Rush Hour.
We'll have to do Rush Hour, X-Men, any of the Hannibal, we'll get to him. We got a bunch of options.
He's a franchise guy.
He is, yeah.
After the Sunset 2? Is that the thing?
Yeah. It was called Before Sunset.
Yo, Charlie Sheen tweeted 2 days ago that he wants to get Money Talks 2 off the ground. So maybe that.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet.
He's trying to get anything going.
Wasn't that a Chris Tucker joint?
Yeah. Charlie Sheen. He's a real wheelchair guy now.
Oh, man. Oh!
Sorry.
Oh, wow. Whew. Boy. All right. Nice shot.
Okay, so Chris, she was attacked by Jason in the woods.
Oh, wait, I didn't finish my thought.
Okay.
Sorry. So you confront your fear, and usually it's people who I will go back into the water. I will go back into a high building. Like that kind of thing. You know what, Chris? No real reason to confront your fear. You were attacked in the woods by a sadistic psychopath. That's okay. You don't have to go back and confront that.
Yeah, get over it.
No need.
In my mind, it's probably all her stoner friends that are like, she's probably told this story 1,000 times. And they're thinking, well, let's go up there. She probably won't get attacked again. We'll just fucking smoke the entire weekend. That sounds like a sweet deal. So she's like, come on, Chris, confront your fear.
You have a house? You have a house in the woods for free? Yeah. No big deal. You're fine.
Confront your fear.
Confront your fears, man. Yeah.
So that's Chris. She's our main character, and she is terrible. And that whole when we find out that she was attacked by Jason 2 summers ago, that is a long monologue she's being asked to deliver.
And I knew there'd be a little wavy dream sequence.
There's a lot of that in these movies.
Yeah, and I knew it was coming as soon as because I said, first of all, this character cannot carry this narrative story by herself, so they're going to have to give me some illustrative background, and they did. They didn't disappoint. Well, they disappointed, but they didn't disappoint. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see the fumbling Jason really still inept at catching a woman or catching anything. How did this guy catch rodents, by the way? He can't catch a person. How's he catching, rodents to eat?
With a harpoon gun. The guy's got some aim.
Yeah, he does. I thought that when he killed the person with the harpoon. I was like, boy, this guy, he's a good shot. He's getting better.
He is. He's improving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting in this movie a little bit to see like monster Jason.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like he gets up from some injuries that Jason probably wouldn't have gotten up from in part 2.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, what else do you have to say about this movie? Well, we should talk about some of the deaths and shit.
Sure. Refresh my mem.
I mean, I'm looking at my notes here. So, hey, we should say Jason gets his hockey mask in this movie.
Oh, right. From Nerdman.
From the prankster. Yeah, so Jeff Ross, he's pranking Sasha Grey.
Right.
And
right.
He pops out of the water with this hockey mask and a harpoon gun to scare her. And she's all like, "You asshole." And he's like, "Nobody likes me."
Right.
And so, like, later on in the movie, like, Jason grabs this hockey mask. And, of course, you get the moment, even though Jason's, like, a foot taller than this guy and 100 pounds lighter. And so the hot girl is like, "Is that you, prankster?"
Right. Yeah. He found stilts. I mean, he is a prankster. He could have found some, costume props.
The prankster sucks, by the way. Soon after that, like, he's like trying to put the moves on her a little bit.
Yeah.
He gets some confidence, and she's sort of like, "Can we talk in a little bit? I need to go outside and think this over." Which is a totally reasonable thing to do when you're asked out by fucking Jeff Ross.
It's true.
And then she leaves, and we hear him just go, "Bitch."
Oh, that's right.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
You're lucky she's thinking about you at all.
Yeah. What a sad person. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of the ladies, we don't get our first boobs in this movie until an hour and 2 minutes. And those are the only boobs in the movie.
I think you're right. Yeah, I only marked that in part 4. I didn't mark that in part 3. So
there's some boobs in part 4. More than this one.
Well, yeah, I know. That's why I might. But in this one, I didn't notice a tit shot.
No, I'm saying I noticed a lack of boobs.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Come on. Friday the 13th. That could have been good for 3D.
You're damn right it could have. I mean, there could have been a shot of like her running up to the camera, a la, what is that, Airplane? Where they run up she runs up with her tits right in the camera.
That sounds like an Airplane joke.
Yeah.
Could be Naked Gun.
Yeah, I don't remember. No, I don't think Naked Gun was, I think we were past the era of casual.
Oh, casual sexism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's less overt.
So, I mean...
Wait, talk about, I'm glad I looked this up because I knew we were missing a good one.
Rick's death?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I already talked about the harpoon death, which is sort of the second best death in this movie. She takes a harpoon through the face.
Through the eye.
Yeah, but Rick, the country boy, holy shit, dude. This motherfucker.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing. Jason just uses his bare hands on this guy. He just grabs him by the head and squeezes till it pops, and then his eye pops out in 3D. Right
in the
at
head.
you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. It's gruesome.
It's a joy to behold.
It is a joy to I like when Chris calls out to him, like, Rick. Jason is withholding killing him right away. Instead of just, like, snapping his neck, he's, like, trying to prevent him from shouting out. So he's just kind of holding him. Just, like, keep quiet. When she goes inside, I'll kill you. You remember that? Like, he's right by the side of the house, right around the corner. And then when she goes inside, then Jason's like, okay, now I'm going to pop your eye out.
Yeah. I did like that.
He wants to wait. He wants to give it a proper death. Doesn't just want to,
And then there's a long sequence of her closing windows for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, she dumps a bookcase on him.
Yeah, I mean, and then the movie just sort of comes to a close, right? Like
right.
There's that. Oh, actually, you know what? I gotta give this movie something. The best part of this movie, like, they sort of kill everybody but Chris with like 20 minutes to go.
Right.
And then there's this pretty long chase scene.
Yeah.
And that's actually pretty sweet, I think.
Yeah, we got another unmasking, by the way, which was really bad. He's looking a little different now, a little different every time we see him.
Oh, well, that continues.
I know, I remember that from seeing the later ones.
Yeah.
It kind of works better. But this one, he just looks kind of like a bemused deformity. He's kind of like, she unmasked, and he's kind of like, oh.
He looks a little like the end of that Twilight Zone episode, Eye of the Beholder.
Oh, good call.
With
Yeah.
those pig fellas.
Right.
Another fucking old-timey reference for me.
Yeah. You maybe, did you take the DeLorean out before we started this today?
I don't know what's going on with me.
Yeah, maybe you went back in time.
I know. And last week I was playing Rebecca Black. Now I'm playing The Cure.
Yeah, it was just too darn loud.
Yeah. So this chase scene is pretty good. She's driving the van. She gets caught up on a bridge. I enjoyed that. And then, she's jumping around, and they end up in the barn.
Yeah. She takes a pickaxe to his head.
Yeah. First she tries to hang him, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. She's inventive.
Yeah, and then she opens the door of the barn, and he's just sort of there, like hanging in this noose. And then he pulls it off and comes at her. It's pretty good. The last half hour of this movie's good.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then that's it. And, we never see Chris again, obviously. We get this weird scene where they're trying to, because I guess this was supposed to close out the trilogy. We're doing, a weird bookend with the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we get this sequence where it's, the next morning, and she's in a canoe, like the one in the first one.
Right.
And instead of being pulled under by Jason, she's pulled under by Mrs. Voorhees, who they're trying to say is still alive. But we never come back to that. It's pretty much chalked up to Dream Sequence City.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the movie.
That's the movie. So, I got no superhero count.
Well, there's no actors in this movie.
No.
We'll save that for part 4.
MVP, LVP?
Oh, God.
I have a jokey one, and then I got a real one.
LVP's got to be the fucking prankster.
All right. I'm going to tell you something right now. He's my MVP.
Oh.
You know why? Pure pity. I felt so sorry for that guy.
Okay.
He was actually my real MVP is Lionel.
Lionel?
Yeah.
Who's that?
You know who, that's the goldfish in the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a cute goldfish.
Yeah, he is cute. He has as much dialogue as the Ron Jeremy character.
He has a sign. I like that scene.
Yeah.
There's a goldfish bowl. It just sitting on the counter of this weird convenience store they're running that only sells fruit and donuts.
Right.
And there's a sign in front of the goldfish bowl.
Uh-huh.
Did you catch this?
Well, that's how I got the name.
Yeah, and it just says, "Come meet Lionel."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lionel's the MVP and the nerd. They're gonna share.
Well, I might give the bunny the MVP. That bunny was cute.
He was cute.
Yeah.
He's mean to the bunny too. Get that thing out of here.
Yeah, I know. But he's sweet to it, so I'll let him have it.
LVP, I have, again, I'm going to give it to the director of photography for making me think I had cataracts the entire time. And the final girl, who's just fucking horrible.
She's really terrible. Yeah, I'm going to give MVP, actually, to that fella who, he's kind of a lot funnier than the prankster, who's the prankster's roommate. You know what I'm talking about?
The asshole?
Yeah.
He is a dick.
Yeah, but he's all right, and he dies while doing a handstand, so that's pretty good.
That was a good death.
Yeah.
Poorly choreographed because he's cut in half, but the way they shoot his death, it looks like he's cut in half the other way.
Yeah, well, it's thank God for Tom Savini coming back to that fourth one, because the makeup effects in this one are probably the weakest yet. Yeah.
By the way, Jason spends a lot of time choreographing the people he kills to scare other people. He could have probably had a job if, in...
Not Scary Farm?
Yeah.
The Haunted Hayride?
Yeah, Haunted Hayride. He probably could have done the effects. They could have gotten a real employment, and because he's good. He takes a lot of time. mean, how hard would it have been to lift that guy, both parts of his body, up onto that rafter so the girl in the hammock while she's reading Fangoria, looks up and sees him. That's a very elaborate. It's a lot of lifting.
Yeah. All right, let's move on in a second, but I'm going to do something unprecedented right now, Henry.
Okay.
I need a fucking glass of water, and I'm getting up to get one.
Do it.
But what I want you to do, this is Henry's Corner. Talk about whatever you want to for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so I always have my thermos of coffee ready. So while Dan's getting hydrated, we're going to move on to part 4. And it actually is 2 years later. And it's I have my own time here, and I'm using it very well. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee for my listeners, and take a drag of my Black and Mild. And we move on to part 4. Oh, we didn't give a star rating either, so I'll preempt Dan's star rating and give it a 1 star because I think it's a real piece of shit. And I'm glad Dan didn't hear that because
I heard it, you motherfucker. Back.
Oh, okay.
3 stars.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I love these movies.
I know, but Jesus Christ. We got a lot of these things to go. You got to parse these star ratings out.
Listen, 9 and 10 will be low.
There's some relativity going on here. You got to.
All right. So what? I gave the first one. No, 3.
You gave the first one 4.
No, I didn't. I gave it a 3. I gave the second one 4.
Okay. All right. I gave the first one 2 and the second one 3. And this is.
I like this more than I like the first one. So I'm going 3 again.
Yeah, I did not. So I'm giving this a good old 1.
Well, 1. I love it.
It's a piece of shit.
That's fine. I'm not going to sit here and defend Friday the 13th Part 3D.
Oh, you never know, man. You never know. I utilized my time on the mic real well.
I bet.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear it.
We'll edit that out.
No, we're not. That's in there.
Now it's sad because I have something that I absolutely could have talked about in your absence, and now I missed my op. But I'll talk about it now.
What is it?
Before you start, because it's good timing.
What is it?
All right, well, that last movie gave me... I need to take a big, deep breath for this word. Paraskevidikatriophobia.
What's that?
That is the Greek definition of a fear of Friday the 13th.
Oh, really? Look at you.
Paraskevidikatriophobia.
Look at you doing some research.
Yeah, I did some research, and I came up with that for the audience.
That'll be the name of the reboot.
Hey, it's a better title than Anthropoid.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, I saw it a few weeks ago. Remember, I told you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Anthropoid.
And you were like, what's that, about fucking computers and robots? And I was like, no, it's a Nazi film.
No, I thought it was going to be like a giant insect kind of a movie.
Right, like the spider in Wild Wild West got his own movie.
Yeah, or like Mimic. Remember that movie?
Right, yeah. That's a fun film.
Guillermo del Toro's best film.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm with you on Del Toro, man.
Yeah. Okay, let's start a Stone Cold classic. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I'm ready. Can I tell you I'll do this right off the bat, Henry. This is getting a 5 from me.
Holy Christ. All right.
This is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. I think it always will be. We'll see if anything comes close in this rewatch we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I fucking adore this movie.
It's not mine so far. Yeah.
Oh, really? Even of the first 4?
No.
Okay.
No. Two is my favorite so far.
Yeah, 2's the only contender, I think.
No, this is, I'm not, it's better than 3 by a lot, but not by enough to give it anything that great, but we'll get there.
All right. It's directed by a new guy, Joseph Zito.
Yeah, seems like a real piece of shit, by the way.
Yeah, he really does.
I don't know if you're going to get in. I didn't know if you were going to get into that.
I wasn't, but you can.
You seem like a real asshole. Yeah, go ahead.
He's one of these guys that sort of like he believes in realism, so he like makes his actors like do the actual shit. Like there's no movie magic involved.
He's a real Betsy Palmer.
Yeah, Stanislavski. This movie's written by Barney Cohen, which sounds like a made-up name. Sounds like something if I was making a prank call. I'd be like,
It's Barney
hey,
Cohen.
it's Barney Cohen.
Barney Cohen, no, Coctos and Mosen.
Yeah. Barney
It's a
Cohen.
Fletch name.
It
It's a
is
Fletch
Fletch
name.
name.
Yeah.
Released April 13th, 1984. Friday the 13th.
So
They did it again.
They did it again, and it's actually you said before, but I'll correct you. It's kind of a 2-year gap. Not the first one to not come in a consecutive year. Because
You're right.
Yeah, we had 80, 81, 82, nothing in 83.
Yeah, now we're in 84. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't catch that. Also, my mom's birthday, April 13th. Shout out to my mom.
All right.
It's a budget of $2.6 million, going up, inching further upwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Box office of 32.9. Big hit. It was number 26 on the box office for that year.
All right.
It did slightly better than Conan the Destroyer and Dune.
Huh.
Yeah.
Again, you're surprising me. I thought those movies would have done better at the box office. All right. Not that any of them were good, but I thought they would do. Yeah.
Well, Conan the Destroyer was a disappointment, I remember, and Dune lost a lot of money, didn't it?
Dune's a fucking mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole documentaries about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, a documentary made my top 10 of a couple of years ago. Jodorowsky's Dune.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that Jodorowsky's Dune sounds like... I don't know if it would have been a good movie, but it would have been interesting.
Well, that's why.
But then again, if David Lynch was like attached to direct Dune and then never made it, there would be documentaries today called like David Lynch's Dune.
That's true.
Yeah. Didn't turn out well, but actually that movie's not terrible.
Oh.
Okay. It did slightly worse than The Killing Fields and Places in the Heart. That's what I got here. So, do you know much about Joseph Zito or Barney Cohen?
Nothing.
Neither of them had huge careers, but kind of interesting. Joseph Zito got this job off of The Prowler, which he had directed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I do know a little bit about Zito. I know nothing about Cohen. Right, The Prowler. I never had even heard of that movie.
It's a well-remembered horror thing. I've never seen it. He also after this movie just went on to direct a bunch of Chuck Norris movies.
Okay.
Yeah, worked with Chuck Norris a lot.
Well, and they must have been pretty successful, right? Because Chuck was a big star in the 80s.
Yeah, he directed all those big Chuck Norris, Missing in Action, whatever. Yeah, those. Norris. I love him.
I don't.
What do you mean you don't love Chuck Norris?
I don't. It's,
Surely you watched a Little Walker, Texas Ranger.
No. Only Conan O'Brien's great Walker, Texas Ranger spoofs.
Oh, The Lever.
I love that fucking lever. Oh,
that
man.
is so fucking funny.
That used to fucking kill me every time. I love that.
Me too.
Oh,
that was one of the all-time great Conan O'Brien bits.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I think of when I think of Walker, Texas Ranger. So.
Well, my sister was way into Jonathan Brandis as a young lady, and Chuck Norris was in that movie Sidekicks with him. Jonathan Brandis, he was like a teen heartthrob, and then he killed himself.
Don't know him.
You don't know him?
Nope.
When he killed himself, I made a bunch of flyers with my friends in computer class with like a collage of pictures of Jonathan Brandis, and we put them around the school, and it said "Sidekick the Bucket." I've always been an asshole.
I was just gonna say, boy, you blossomed early.
Yeah,
early bloomer.
Yeah. Anyway,
you were allowed to do that in your high school?
No, I wasn't allowed to do that.
I'm sure you got detention for that.
No, they didn't catch us.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good thief. Good criminal.
Yeah. Barney Cohen actually did have kind of a career after this movie.
All right.
He's a TV writer, and he created 2 memorable shows.
Barney Miller?
No, not Barney Miller.
Barney Cohen. Maybe it's like the Jewish Barney Miller. I don't know.
That sounds right, yeah. I wonder if he has a similar mustache.
Mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He created that show Forever Knight. You remember that show?
Nope.
Forever Knight, Knight.
No. Was that about Michael Knight from Knight Rider?
No, but I do think the main character's last name was Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to be.
Yeah. And he also created the TV version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, that I do remember. That's with Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Ah,
I wanted to
took me
see
a
if you
second.
could get that.
Took me a second.
Yeah, that was a show I watched a lot of as a kid, and it holds up so impossibly bad today. Like, I can watch all those like TGIF shows through like nostalgia glasses today,
Sure,
like
yeah.
fucking Full House or Boy Meets World, you know, whatever, Step by Step. But like that show's unwatchable.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go, Barney Cohen. All right, let's start it.
Yeah.
Previously on Friday the 13th.
Oh my God! Another recap.
I know.
God.
But this one is oddly the shortest,
Okay.
even though they're using clips from all three previous movies.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're
they are.
having the sort of campfire scene dialogue from part 2 as the narration.
Okay.
Supposedly Zito was way anti this, but the studio wanted the previously.
Right.
Yeah. Zito's tough to work with, I get the sense.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
He gave one actor hypothermia, and other one wouldn't let him have a crash pad when he was falling down in the shower, and then Jason, the actor playing him this time, took the actor's side and protested and all kinds of weird shit.
Ooh, I didn't read that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Ted White, I believe he said. Basically, it's not a quote, but essentially he's like, "This you're an asshole, and you got to help my actors out. The people that I'm killing need to not actually be injured in real life." But I don't think he won that battle.
Doesn't sound like it. But
Did you read that Feldman? Did you read that Feldman at the end when he was stabbing Jason mercilessly, or he was yelling that it was Zito he was stabbing?
oh yeah, I did read that.
Wow.
I also read that Feldman was such a dicky little kid.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman's in this movie, guys. Sorry.
Corey Feldman.
And when he like grabs Feldman through the window at the end of the movie, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the actor Ted White, who played Jason, was like actually trying to scare him because he fucking hated Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman, by the way, not even old enough to have a license to drive. Am I right?
Ooh, the Coreys.
The Coreys, right? Yeah, I thought so, right? Corey Haim's in that.
Yeah. Feldman's still around, man.
So he's not dead.
No, Haim's dead.
I didn't have time to look that up. I was trying to remember. Is he the one who died? No.
Haim died. Feldman was on the Today Show a couple weeks ago, performing music with his backing band, the Angels.
Oh, good for him.
Corey and the Angels.
Is he promoting also Friday the 13th, Part 4?
No, he's just promoting his music. And then everyone started shitting on him on the internet. And, like, it went viral, like how bad it was.
Yeah.
And then he hopped on Facebook and wrote a fun little message to his fans saying, like, we live in an age of political correctness where it's not okay to rip on anything. So why is it okay to make fun of Corey and the Angels? It's a good point.
It is a good boy.
Oh, Corey Feldman.
Oh, Corey.
Okay, but the headline here is Crispin Glover is in this movie. Franchise
A.
crossover.
Fucking A.
And holy fuck is he good.
He is fantastic.
Given some chops to this movie. He's like the
He
first
really is.
actual actor to appear in a Friday the 13th movie.
Besides Kevin Bacon, you're right.
Including Kevin Bacon.
No, wait. No, yeah. The first actor to like be good in one of these movies.
Oh,
yeah.
he makes this thing his own.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't give a shit. Maybe Zito didn't like it, but I don't care because I don't think Glover gave a shit.
Oh,
He's like, I am who I am.
He is Crispin Glovering all over this thing.
His dance moves are amazing.
Listen, his dance moves. I mean, honestly, if I'm picking my 10 favorite moments in any movie, That's
Yeah.
a contender.
I get it. I'm with you, man, and I'm with you. I don't think I'd ever seen this film. I'm not sure. To quote you, it's a movie. Let's not call it a film. Yeah.
This is a film.
He's great. He is just great. And I looked him up just to see like if he had been anything before. He had, but only
Not
like,
a lot.
Yeah, 2 or 3 things where he's barely even named as a character credit. So
We're still a year away from Back to the Future.
yeah, so this is his first movie with any kind of real prominence, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
He's
fantastic.
he's just amazing.
He
Should we
really
get
is.
right into him, or should we like do plot and stuff? I guess we should do plot, but I have so much more to say about Crispin Glover.
No, go ahead.
And
I
he's
mean,
the
yeah.
MVP.
Fucking A, he's
Yeah.
mine. There's not even close. I mean, how could you? It's not just because we love Crispin Glover, but I mean, he's just so clearly the MVP. He's just, ooh, the guy's great.
So, but he is maybe my favorite actor. I've said this before on the
You've
podcast.
you seesawed on this back and forth. You've said it, then you've sort of retracted it.
No,
Yeah.
I do believe because I said Gary Oldman might be my favorite actor.
Right.
He's up there. My favorite actor is '80s Crispin Glover,
All right.
and this performance is part of why.
Mm-hmm.
So after again in part 2, going forward 5 years.
Yeah.
In part 3, it was the next day, and now we're just later that night. And you know what they're doing? They're trying to catch up to the fucking year.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
think so. Like,
All right.
because all of a sudden, part 2 is a sci-fi movie because we're 5 years in the future.
Right.
And I think they want to make it viable that it's now just 1984 again.
And it's funny because Jason is seemingly dead. I mean, he's all but put out to pasture.
He's
by
put
that.
in a morgue.
He's put in the freezer,
The cold
unlocked,
locker.
while those two kids, not really kids actually, but
Well, it's a doctor and a nurse.
it's a mortician and a fucking nurse. Yeah, not a doctor. He's like not even a mortician. He's like he's a coroner. He's the coroner.
Yeah.
Who's not a very good coroner because he's not even checking for a pulse.
He's
But,
not a
they-
bad actor, though. I feel like they
I've seen
they
him
did
somewhere.
better with casting in this movie.
Oh yeah, no, the acting is again. I made a note. Now the acting is much better than the other one. Now I was going to ask: is it a thing where the even-numbered ones are just better than the odd-numbered ones?
Oh, that's an interesting. Like Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean they say that about a couple of franchises that run long. They say like but the odd-numbered ones are better than the or the even-numbered ones.
That's certainly true of the first
First
four
four.
movies, but
Yeah.
I think I like 5 more than 6. We'll
Okay.
see if that holds true. And I feel like 7 and 8 are fairly even.
Okay.
So I don't know, but and 9 and 10 are both terrible. So yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see. We'll keep
I
an
think
eye on
I'm-
this development.
Yeah, I'm going to be yearning for 9 and 10 just to get out of the 80s. I think never thought I'd say that.
No. This
I'm looking
franchise
forward to it.
belongs in the 80s. They should have stopped making fucking Friday the 13th movies at the stroke of midnight in 1990.
Well, I agree with you philosophically, but I just want to see some better production values. But anyway, I don't care. Doesn't matter. It's a good time.
So it's
Part
later
four.
that night. We're in a hospital. It's very Halloween, too.
Yeah.
And, they're in a morgue. It's like a horny doc.
Night nurse.
Night nurse and a...
Coroner.
Yeah.
They're going to have sex next to Jason's body.
They sure are. And they're making straight up necrophilia jokes, which I'm not comfortable with.
No.
And
Yeah, that guy's he's a piece of work, that coroner. He's laying a sandwich on Jason's body, and I mean, no wonder Jason killed him.
meanwhile, he annoys the nurse, and then she leaves for a while.
Right.
And he stays behind. He's watching this aerobicize video, and he's just talking to it like it's fucking sucking his dick.
Yeah, he is.
And
Yeah.
then he gets killed by Jason. And in my notes here, I have, there has never been anything more 80s than being murdered by Jason while jerking off to an aerobicize video.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's the same aerobicize people that were in Back to the Future in that class doing aerobics. Remember that?
Of course, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm distracted by that every time I watch Back to the Future.
I know.
Yeah. So then we meet our two sets of characters.
Yeah.
We have our horny teens, and they're driving up to spend the night at this cabin.
Yeah.
But the cabin is next door to the Jarvises, and they live out there. And it's a divorced mom, her daughter, and Corey Feldman, who's an aspiring makeup artist.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah, he has all masks all over the place.
Yeah.
And, and part of that is Tom Savini's back. Tom Savini supposedly came back to do the makeup for Friday the 13th 4 because it was supposed to be the last movie. It's the final chapter.
Right.
And he said he wants to kill off his creation.
That's right.
And, and he does, but then a year later, there's a new beginning.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I like the characters in this movie. I think they're better developed than any of the characters in the first three, and I think they sort of earn a couple of the deaths. Like, you feel bad for a few of the characters.
Yeah. One of my favorites is Rob the Hitchhiker, who, when he's...
Played by Felicity's dad.
Oh, Larry, look at you. Look at you. You get that, listeners? That was a Felicity reference.
Yeah.
There you go. Enjoy.
He's Felicity's dad, Mr.
Okay.
Porter.
He's, as he's getting killed, and this is the first time I think I rewound a scene, because I wanted to make sure I was getting the audio correct, and I put the subtitles on. He is indeed, as he's being stabbed or hacked or whatever is going on with him in the basement, he is saying multiple times, "He's killing me. He's killing me."
Yeah, I caught that.
So I wrote in quotes, "He's killing me, Rob."
Yeah, Rob. Rob's a real cool guy, by the way.
He kind of is.
He's an interesting choice for this movie because, like, there's
He's
the
not
horny
really
teens and there's
right.
the Jarvises, and he's not
Right.
connected to either of them.
No.
He's just sort of camping in a tent in these woods.
Right.
They, like, run across him. And then he has this whole sob story that he tells to the daughter Jarvis.
Mm.
And he's, like, connected to Friday the 13th mythology, weirdly.
What is his sob story? You have to refresh my memory.
He says that Jason, who he believes to still be alive, correctly, murdered his sister, Sandra, who was a real good kid. That's a quote from Rob. Now,
It's important to throw that in there, you know.
you might recall that Sandra was the underage girl from part 2.
I absolutely do not remember that. I mean, I remember that, but I don't remember that when he says that's who that was. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's an
yeah.
actual reference to the... Okay.
Yeah, so, A, his sister was not a real good kid.
No, not at all.
And B, given the timeline of these movies, she was just murdered like 2 days ago. And he's already in these woods looking for revenge. He skipped out on that funeral to kill Jason.
Yeah, the funeral hasn't even happened.
No.
They're still looking for cause of death. Well, they probably
I think
know
they
that.
have cause of death. It's spear through her and her boyfriend.
Oh, that's right. They're the ones that came together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that guy. Then we get our teens. No real prankster in this movie. I guess the closest we come is this fella Ted.
Right, he's
who,
my LVP.
He tries to hit on every girl by saying, "Hey, you want to kiss Teddy Bear?"
Right, he's my LVP.
He's pretty bad.
I couldn't wait for him to die, and I was mad at him for continuously harassing Crispin Glover by calling him
Dead fuck.
a dead fuck.
Yeah, that line is uttered so many times. There's like a scene in the car early on, which is one of the great scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Where Crispin Glover is sort of asking him, like, why do you think girls don't go for me?
Right.
And he says, after much hedging, that it's because Crispin Glover is a dead fuck, which means he's a bad lay, basically.
Right.
And that's just a running joke through the entire movie.
Yeah.
But all's well. Crispin Glover fucks one of those twins.
And then afterwards, to kill the mood, he asks her if he was a dead fuck.
Yeah, but
Like,
she
you
says
just
you were
got laid, man.
amazing.
What?
She says that he was incredible, though.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so he feels pretty good.
Pretty good.
But we'll
about
get to the twins. I'm not there yet. I want to talk more about this car scene, which ends with one of the great Crispin Glover line readings of all time.
it. Okay.
So the dialogue in these movies it's terrible,
Yeah.
right? So Crispin Glover is like a great weirdo, and he's being asked to deliver this generically bad dialogue,
Right.
and oh boy, he goes for it.
He elevates it.
The last line of this scene, the only line he's asked to say, it's in the script, God, I'm so horny. That's it. Or no, just God, I'm horny. No so. 3 words.
Yeah.
And he injects this line with this weird sort of world weariness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. Can you give me an impression of him doing it? I need a.
It's sort of like the very end of the scene, and he's like all of a sudden giving this fucking stupid line pathos, and he just goes, God, I'm horny.
Yeah. Well, it's his density to say lines like that. So.
Yeah, it's an incredible line. It's his, I think, second best line in the movie.
Oh.
Because I like when everyone goes skinny dipping, and they're all yelling up at Crispin Glover and Dead Fuck Guy, like, come in! Like, hurry up! And Crispin Glover just calls out, we have no suits! Oh.
Yeah.
He's the best.
He is the best. Where's... I like when he's looking for the corkscrew for the wine bottle, and he's in the kitchen, and he's like...
and then he gets stabbed through the hand.
Right, but I like when he calls out to Ted, he's like, where's that, where's that, thing, to open the...
Yeah, he says it a couple of times, though. He, like, comes up to the word, and he's just like, the corkscrew? Where's the corkscrew?
Yeah.
And then he gets stabbed with it. It's amazing. He knows he's about to die. Crispin Glover just giving his all in this piece of shit. I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
you just called it a piece of shit.
Well, these movies are stupid, but I love this movie. Like, this movie's exactly what I want a Friday the 13th movie to be.
Okay.
5 stars.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
All right.
So, speaking of those twins...
They're British.
Are they?
Yeah.
They do okay American accents.
They do. A couple of times, one of them, I don't know which one.
Well,
slips.
there's one that's an actual actor. And, like, she auditioned for a different role in this movie, and then they found out she had a twin, and they brought her twin into the movie. So, like, the other one isn't really an actor.
Right. Yeah, the other one has, one of them has a bunch of TV credits all through the 80s, I noticed.
Yeah, me too. And my favorite credit, Henry, do you know what I'm going to say?
Nope.
They're the Doublemint Gum Girls.
Oh, yeah. I remember those ads.
Oh, really?
That's how old I am. Yep. Yep. I get it. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Where'd you find that cue? Hey,
that's my favorite part of any of our episodes.
That's the best music in any of these Friday the 13th movies.
No, the funky bass in the third one.
Slipping a bass.
I do love when he does that crazy dance, Crispin?
Yes.
Which is amazing.
I know
we
it?
Can't communicate how amazing it is
you have
on this
to watch
podcast.
it,
Just look it up on YouTube. You can find it.
You have to look at it.
It's incredible. He's dancing to this shitty song by this shitty 80s rock group called Lion. But did you read what he was dancing to on set?
Nope.
Back in Black.
Get out!
I swear to God.
You've just blown my mind, and I love him even more.
Yeah.
That makes no sense, but that's great. Back in Black.
Yeah.
Second highest selling album of all time.
What, after the Eagles' greatest hits?
No, after Thriller.
Oh, right. Okay. So you know, the twins. They find these twins. And Glover fucks one of them.
Right.
That's about it. They both get killed.
Yeah.
They don't need to be in this movie. I think, like, Joseph Zito just liked the idea of having a couple of twins hanging around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote down at 41 minutes we got a great tit shot.
There's a lot of boobs in this movie.
Yeah, but there's a real gratuitous one.
Which one?
Real gratuitous. The girl who's going out on the raft when her boyfriend, by the way, who's just completely cheating on her with
Yeah.
one of the. Remember that?
Yeah. He's
It's
cheating with one of the twins, but then
like
he feels bad about it.
They're clearly a couple. Like, what's going on here? And she's rather forgiving. She's
Yo,
like, oh,
but that guy later gets a harpoon through the dick. So,
he deserves it.
yeah. That's
She gets
awesome.
she gets a harpoon through the raft.
Yeah.
But before she does that, she disrobes
Yeah.
and turns like a 3/4 turn to the camera, so we get all the breastises in their glory, and then she returns, and then we could turn again, and then she gets into the raft naked, and it's all good.
The best boob scene in this movie, though, is when Corey Feldman is watching that girl change from across the way. Yeah.
Right.
That's
No,
pretty good.
my favorite's still her, but yeah, I
And
get
the
it.
skinny dipping scene's pretty amazing, too. You get some male butt in there, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too
Not
much
bad.
of it.
All right.
Yeah.
What else do I have to say about this movie? I feel like I have so much.
Well, probably the end, right? With Corey Feldman, you
Well,
gotta.
yeah, look,
we're gonna
we're-
talk about that.
We're killing Jason. So Jason has killed. It's amazing. He kills every single one of the teens. He just kills them all. Oh, I have a note. Damn it. I meant to mention that the franchise crossover, the nurse at the beginning of the movie. She's in Back to the Future.
Really?
Yeah, she's one of like Leah Thompson's friends. You know, when she's like saying he's
Oh.
dreamy and shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Anyway.
Okay.
Here's another fun cast credit for this movie.
Hmm.
The guy who dies in the shower, where there's also great boobs.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
He's from Valley Stream, my hometown.
Oh.
I want to look him up now. But I looked him up. He has some weird TV credits. He's on a lot of shows that only lasted like one season.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the title character in a show I'd never heard of before called The Powers of Matthew Starr. Where he plays an alien prince who comes to Earth and becomes a high school student.
Okay.
And that show was created by none other than Stephen E. D'Souza,
Oh, our old buddy.
our old buddy.
Oh, Stephen E. D'Souza.
Yeah.
Still working. No. Oh, this is all. Well, I don't know when that show aired, so I don't know.
I think it was 83, like right before this. He might have gotten this job off of that show.
Yeah. So then he went on to Die Hard and all that. So yeah. Wow.
Sure.
Launching pad.
The Powers of Matthew Starr.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jason's stalking the Jarvises because all the teens have been done away with.
Yeah.
Should we talk about that one teen who found like a vintage porno from like the 20s and
Yeah, they're watching a stag.
They're
film.
watching that for like a half hour of this movie.
It's a long film, really.
And he never stops laughing. Like he is
Yeah.
just fucking chuffed by this film.
He loves it. He loves it.
Yeah. And then he
Yeah.
gets stabbed through the movie screen, which
Yeah.
I think Joseph Zito was like trying to do something meta or something, but
Oh,
it didn't
Lord.
really work.
No.
So Jason's fucking fighting the Jarvises,
Yeah.
and Tommy, Corey Feldman's like read about Jason earlier on in the movie and has like
Yeah.
an artist rendering of what he looked like as a boy.
Right.
And so he starts chopping all his hair off, and he pulls a real Ginny from Friday the 13th Part 2. Where
Yeah.
like Ginny puts on that sweater, pretends to be the mom.
Yep.
Corey Feldman goes a step further, pretends to be younger Jason,
Yeah.
and is like,
And-
"Look, hey," and he looks like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he's got like white makeup on and make eyebrows painted on. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like fucking Christopher Lloyd in the Addams Family.
Uncle Fester.
Yeah, Uncle Fester. And he fools Jason. It's the same ending as Friday the 13th Part 2, basically. And they they whack him in the head and he's dead. But
I did like. There's another unmasking, right? Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one looks a little better because
Yes, he does. Yeah, this is with the unmet. This is the kind of Jason that I know a little better. Like he's starting to look more like an alien. He's starting to be like kind of white and veiny and disgusting, and it looks better. Yeah. And scarier, like actually like a ghoul as opposed to like a bemused deformity.
Yeah, that's true. He's a monster. Well, by the time... So, part 5 is next, and Jason sits that one out, kind of.
Oh.
Kind of, sort of.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, that might be spoiling something, but whatever.
Now I'm not really looking forward to watching it.
No. There's a killer, and he's wearing a hockey mask, and you think the whole movie is Jason, but he's not.
Oh, so you're further spoiling it for me. Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you.
But it's like a whodunit, so you won't know who it is.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. We didn't really talk...
But part 6, I'm saying, like, by the time he comes back in part 6, he is a supernatural being.
Right. And I was surprised you didn't really get in a little bit more, just real quick, to the hockey mask evolution and how that happened. Or is it not? You want to just talk about that another time?
I don't care.
But 3 was the first time we saw it.
Yeah, it wasn't planned, and at the beginning of 3, we're seeing sort of just Jason from behind and Jason's legs and stuff, and we don't see him head on until he puts on the hockey mask. And they came up with that like on the set, right? Like somebody was a big Detroit Red Wings fan and had like hockey equipment on him. Yeah, that's it.
So that's it. Yeah.
But that becomes very iconic, and hockey mask Jason is the Jason I know and love.
Course.
Even though I like Baghead Jason in part 2. But that's not sustainable.
No.
Yeah. Do you have anything more to say about the final chapter?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. Let's do it then. 5 stars.
2 stars.
2?
Yeah, because, if I give it 3, that's equating it with part 2, and I don't think part 4, Crispin Glover's the best thing in it, and the rest of it's just very grating. I mean, it's better, way better directed than 3.
I love the teens in this one, and I love the Jarvises, and I love fucking Cool Guy in the Woods.
I like him too, but it's a high 2. I'm giving it a high 2.
Okay.
It's not a we'll see when we get to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 through 20. I might come back and give it a fucking 6 stars.
I love this movie. If we're talking slasher genre.
Yeah.
And we're taking the first Halloween, the first 2 Halloweens, the first Scream, and the first Nightmare on Elm Street out of the equation. This is my favorite slasher movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no, argument for that. It's fine. But I can't, 2 stars. It was fun. But,
MVP Crispin.
Absolutely.
Who's LVP?
Oh, that's got to be Prankster Ted. He's just a pain in the ass. Not to be confused with Prankster Ned. I assume. And the next one will be Prankster Zed.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, we didn't talk about another character I like in this movie is the girl who's like sort of afraid of her own sexuality. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know that I do.
There's this blonde girl who's sort of like, she's very attractive, but she's like, she thinks like dudes don't sexualize her.
Right.
And then like later in the movie, she works up the courage to like talk to that one dude, and she's like,
he's in the shower.
Yeah, she goes, you want to sleep in the bottom bunk tonight?
Right.
And he's all like, oh, why? Do you want the top bunk? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
I like her, so I'm going to give her a little runner-up MVP.
Oh, runner-up.
Yeah.
We could do that. That makes sense. Okay.
Right. I love everyone, though. I love the twins. This is a great movie. LVP, I really got to think about it. I don't have... Manfredini? I don't know.
Oh, that's fine.
No, the cheating guy, he was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weak pick, man. But all right.
I'll let
you get away with it because you love this movie. It's a 5-star movie, so it's as good as Die Hard or Back to the Future.
I like it as much as I like those movies.
Come on.
Like I have the same affection for it that I have for those movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. That's all right. You just slip in the bath.
Sorry.
Slip in the bath.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's a little Gilly for you.
Oh, nice.
Shut up.
Jesus.
I know.
God.
Who could care?
Yeah.
And is that it? Are we done?
I'm done.
Okay.